Amateur radio Newsline will start in 5 minutes. W8WKY.
Amateur Radio Newsline, report number 2493, with the release date of Friday, August 8th, 2025. To follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. An international partnership creates a satellite to aid disaster response. Hams honor the Navajo code talkers of World War II and finding a 20-meter dipole in a cornfield. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2493 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
Our top story takes us to space, where a satellite created through the partnership of two nations will provide a window into some of the natural disasters plaguing us here on Earth. Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF, has the details.
An unprecedented joint satellite project between the Indian Space Research Organization and NASA is giving researchers the hope of better studying the Earth's climate and helping improve responses to natural disasters by monitoring the most subtle changes on Earth, including its glaciers and wetlands. The satellite is known as NISA, the NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar mission. Its launch aboard an ISRO spacecraft on the 30th of July from the Satish Dhawan Space Center centered on its mission to send microwaves to collect data from different surfaces on the planet. When processed, the data will be visible in an exceptionally high resolution. An estimated 80 terabytes of data will be collected daily. Scientists have said that the method has, quote, unprecedented accuracy, end quote. Researchers and governments around the world will be able to view the data via a cloud platform where they will have open access. The project is being praised as the first collaborative satellite mission of its kind between the Indian and U.S. space agencies. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
A Texas telecommunications company asking for FCC permission to use amateur radio frequencies between 430 and 440 megahertz has submitted a response to the U.S. regulator defending itself against concerns from ham radio operators over interference. The letter, written by AST Space Mobile, assures the agency that its satellites are designed to, quote, mitigate interference, end quote. The company also said it would shut down its use of the band if interference was found. The company's filing, reported in the PC Magazine website, reads in part that the FCC has found that AST Space Mobile's prior demonstration of no interference conform to ITU regulations and are, quote, sufficient to authorize a limited non-conforming use, end quote. The PC Magazine website noted that the FCC has received more than 2,500 comments in protest of the company's proposed use of the band. Elsewhere in space, two more hams have arrived aboard the ISS after a brief delay of their launch, as we hear from Travis Lisk, N3 ILS.
NASA's SpaceX Crew 11 arrived at the International Space Station in the early hours of Saturday, the 2nd of August, after a launch that suffered a one-day weather delay due to poor weather. Commander Zena Cardman, KJ5CMN, and pilot Mike Fink, KE5AIT, were accompanied by two mission specialists, JAXA astronaut Kamiya Uyi and Roscosmos cosmonaut Oleg Platonov. During their 7-month tenure aboard the orbiting laboratory, the team will conduct experiments on the impact of microgravity on bacteria-killing viruses. They will also study plant cell division and human stem cells. The ISS assignment marks the first time in space for both Zena Cardman and Oleg Platonov. This is Travis Lisk, N3 ILS.
Although the 14th of August has been designated as Navajo Code Talkers Day, a group of proud amateur radio operators are taking several days to honor this special unit of brave Marines who served in the U.S. military during the Second World War. Few of these hams could be prouder than Herb Goodluck, N7HG, whose late father, John V. Goodluck, had been one of the Marines who used their own Navajo language to craft a wartime code that could not be broken. Herb will be amongst those calling QRZ from the 10th to the 15th, using the call sign N7C. Operators will be using CW, phone, and FT8. Additional details, including operating frequencies, can be found on QRZ.com. The hams will be operating from Window Rock, Arizona, at the Navajo Tribal Park and Veterans Memorial. In rural India, students at a school for boys are being rewarded for their faith in the technical expertise of amateur radio operators. The Lightning Arrestor project they have been collaborating on for several years with the hams is ready to be considered for a patent. Graham Kemp, VK4BB, tells us what comes next.
Leave it to ham radio operators to know how destructive and even fatal a lightning strike can be. That's why a number of years ago, educators at a school in rural West Bengal, India, sought input from local hams for a project by physics students to help protect farmers when they were caught in the fields during storms and lightning strikes. According to reports in the Indian media, the homebrew, affordably built device, which resembles a bicycle's wheel, has been evaluated by the Central Power Research Institute. It also received recognition in 2020 at the National Children's Science Congress, a national showcase for innovative technology devised by youngsters between the ages of 10 and 17. Newsline described the simple device in its first report on the project in November of 2019, noting that it affixes a wheel-like component to the top of a high bamboo pole. An electrical wire connects it to metal in the earth to ground it. The secretary of the West Bengal Radio Club said in media reports that 40 such devices have already been put in place at 40 locations throughout northern Bengal, where the fields for the farmers and their animals are moist and marshy. Now the waiting begins. The Times of India reports that the patent application for the project was filed on July 27. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
A long-standing and well-respected member of the amateur radio community has become a silent key. Frank Butler, W4RH, had been active in ham radio since the 1940s, when he received his commercial and his amateur licenses. He spent part of his professional career as a broadcast engineer at several stations. By many accounts, he gave back generously to amateur radio over many decades. He served for nearly 30 years as the Southeastern Division Director of the ARRL until he stepped down in 2007. He had begun his service with the League in 1957 as Communications Manager for the Western Florida section. According to a posting on the Facebook page of the Alabama section of the ARRL, Frank became a silent key on Tuesday, the 5th of August. He was 100 years old. On March 6th of this year, on the occasion of his becoming a centenarian, the Okaloosa County Board in Florida proclaimed the date Frank M. Butler Jr. Day. Hams throughout the division and beyond posted on social media, recalling him as a gentleman and a frequent and prominent guest at Huntsville and other hamfests. His generous spirit was also widely known. He was a member of the ARRL Maxims Society, which recognizes donors for their extraordinary monetary gifts to the League. A museum project is being hosted online when the ARRL is tracking amateur radio's life story and its impact on society. We have more details from George Zafiropoulos, KJ6VU.
What began as a project of Chuck Penson, WA7ZZE, is slowly growing into Radio Alpha, a ham radio museum and research resource hosted by the ARRL. The historian's vision is to build a tool where documents detailing amateur radio equipment and technology and its evolution can be accessible to everyone in a central location. Announcing the project on the ARRL website, Chuck wrote, "This database will be a living resource, regularly updated and expanded through ongoing research and community contributions, fostering a deeper appreciation and understanding of amateur radio's profound impact on communication, technology, and society." Chuck is looking for volunteers to assist him in building and collecting the content, especially hams with deep knowledge of particular product brands or operating modes. The project is being supported by the ARRL's Historical Preservation Fund. If you're interested in assisting him, he can be emailed at radioalpha@arrl.org. That's radioalpha, one word, @arrl.org. To see how the collection has already grown, visit the link in the text version of this week's Newsline script at arnewsline.org. This is George Zafiropoulos, KJ6VU.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the AH6LE repeater in Beaver Creek and Wilsonville, Oregon, on Sundays at 6 p.m. local time. Viewers of the Ham Nation podcast shared a proud moment with Newsline's Young Ham of the Year, and Don Wilbanks, AE5DW, is here to tell us about it.
On Wednesday, July 30th, it was my honor to present the 2025 Bill Pasternak WA6ITF Amateur Radio Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award to Katie Campbell, KE8LQR. As Katie will be in Germany as a foreign exchange student for her senior year in high school on the weekend of the Huntsville Ham Fest, we presented the award live on Ham Nation, a first for us. Our corporate sponsors, Yazoo USA, Heil Ham Radio, and Radio Waves Antennas, will have some gifts to show their appreciation. Appearing with Katie, along with our Ham Nation regulars Josh Nass, KI6NAZ, Amanda Alden, K1DDN, and Gordon West, WB6NOA, were Young Ham of the Year Committee Chairman Mark Abramovich, NT3V, Judge Rich Moseson, W2VU, Newsline Editor Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT, Newsline's Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, DX Engineering's Tim Duffy, K3LR, and Huntsville Hamfest Chairman Mark Brown, N4BCD. If you missed it live, you can watch the replay on YouTube on the Ham Radio Crash Course channel, or just type Ham Nation in the YouTube search bar. Our sincere congratulations go out to Katie for her amazing contributions to the amateur radio hobby and service. We're looking forward to next March when we again open nominations for the 2026 Young Ham of the Year Award. Again, many thanks to our corporate partners, Yazoo USA, Heil Ham Radio, and Radio Waves, as well as you, our listeners, and the folks who continue to nominate the best of the best young radio amateurs. I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW.
This next story is straightforward and, we hope, easy to understand. But it's about a radio transmitted message that is deliberately, very deliberately, cryptic. Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB, tells us why.
The Enigma machine that the Germans used during World War II to create encoded secret messages is about to be put back into action. KPH, the maritime radio station in California, will be transmitting messages using Enigma encryption for broadcast via both CW and RTTY. Listeners copy the message and then, using an actual Enigma machine they may have in their shack or a simulated one available online, work to decrypt the message, which will be sent in groups of 5 letters each. This annual tradition recalls the hard work of World War II-era cryptographers who ultimately cracked the code. Certificates are awarded for proof of successful decode, first to decode, and for use of original or replica hardware. The broadcast begins at 2000 UTC on the 30th of August on all KPH, CW, and RTTY frequencies. For more details, visit the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Ralph Squillace, KK6ITB.
In the world of DX, 2 Scout stations are finishing up their activations. Scout Station CR5OCEAN is on the air until the 9th of August, operating from the National Maritime Scout Camp Oceanos at the Alcaiva Dam in southern Portugal. Be listening on 40 and 20 meters. QSL via CR6CNE. In Slovenia, another Scout station, S50ZLET, is being operated by members of Radio Club Cezana, S59ABL, and Radio Club Koper, S59CST, until the 8th of August for the Slovenian National Jamboree. See QRZ.com for details. Operators with the Summers Island Expedition, IOTA number EU133, are on the air until the 14th of August. They're using the call sign RI1E. Listen for Vasily, R7AA, and Mikhail, RA1ALA, operating CW, single sideband, and the digital modes on 40 through 10 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Special Event Station 9A169 Tesla is on the air until the 31st of December, marking the 169th anniversary of the birth of Nikola Tesla. CQRZ.com for QSL details. In Canada, members of the Atlantic Coast DX and Contest Group are celebrating the 100th anniversary of the International Amateur Radio Union by going on the air throughout August as CG9IARU. They will activate POTA, Worldwide Flora and Fauna, and Canadian historical sites on the air locations. CQRZ.com for QSL and other details. You don't need to be a farmer to celebrate corn season this time of year. Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, introduces us to one home brewer in Iowa who says it's not just corn season, but antenna season.
The smiling radio operator greeting viewers of his YouTube videos calls himself Cornfield Kevin. And yes, Kevin, K0KLB, is outstanding in his field, which happens to be an Iowa cornfield. There, in August of 2022, Kevin harvested 2 single sideband contacts between Iowa and Texas while operating on 5 watts using a 20-meter vertical antenna fashioned from corn stalks. He called his creation the Corntenna. This year, Kevin is making the QSOs and the corn pop all over again. In his latest video, he shows how he put corn stalks back to work recently, this time using stalks from a fresh harvest to build a horizontal 20-meter dipole. He tested the Corntenna over a 2-day period and sadly made no contacts on the first day. The next day, after cutting fresh new stalks, he worked his brother Bruce, KE0QQE, on 10 meters. Bruce, who was nearby, gave him a 5.5. Then a POTA activator in Ohio copied him and gave him a 4.4, telling him he was, quote, down in the weeds, end quote. Well, those weren't exactly weeds Kevin was standing in, but the POTA op was correct about the challenging RST. Nonetheless, satisfied with his project, Kevin is sharing the build on his YouTube channel, Ham Radio QRP K0KLB. While you're there, check out Kevin's earlier project for the original vertical Corntenna. After all, when you're a ham on a farm in Iowa, every day can be field day. This is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG.
We hope you've been enjoying the ham radio haikus that our listeners have sent in. Have you written one yet? The Newsline Haiku Challenge is as easy as writing a QSL card. Now, we can only accept the correct haiku format, that is, a 3-line verse with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, and 5 in the third. Submit your work on our website at arnewsline.org. Each week's winner gets a shout-out on our website where everyone can find the winning haiku. With thanks to Amateur News Daily, AMSAT News Service, Analyst IP, the ARRL, CBS, CNN, David Behar, K7DB, Facebook, 425DX Bulletin, the FCC, the Jeffrey Don Foundation, Maritime Radio Historical Society, NASA, Okaloosa County Board, PC Magazine, shortwaveradio.de, the Times of India, the Wireless Institute of Australia, YouTube, and you, our listeners. That's all for the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2025. Amateur Radio Newsline retains ownership of its materials even when retransmitted elsewhere. All rights reserved.
The Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association hopes you enjoy the weekly broadcast of Amateur Radio Newsline, and we thank you for listening. We invite you to stay tuned to the W8WKY repeater for our weekly Club Net, which will begin at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. For the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, this is Kilo Charlie 8, Hotel Delta Papa, standing by for the net at 8 p.m.
Daily Serenet, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe starts in 5 minutes. Get ready for the weekly Serenet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
CQ. This is Whiskey 8 Whiskey Kilo Yankee calling CQ for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net. We meet here every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the W8WKY repeater, which is located in Doylestown, Ohio, and operates on a frequency of 147.390 megahertz, and we use a PL tone of 114.8. This net is open to all licensed amateur radio amateurs. No club affiliation is needed, so please check in with us. This is a directed net, so all traffic will go through net control. Emergency or priority traffic may break into this net at any time. Your net control operator for this session is Jerry. That's Juliet, Echo, Romeo, Yankee. My personal call sign is Kilo, Charlie 8, Hotel Delta Papa, KC8 HDP, Jerry and Shreve. But during this net, I will be doing business as Whiskey 8 Whiskey Kilo Yankee. I will take a short break and be back with an announcement. The next Sarah Club meeting will be August 21st at 7 p.m. at the Wadsworth Eagles, as usual. I hope to see you all there. That is all I have for announcements. Are there any stations with announcements for the Club Net? Okay, nothing heard. So we'll start off this evening with a couple of rounds of in and out check-ins, followed by regular check-ins for those who wish to play trivia and make comments to the net. So let's get started with those in and out check-ins. When checking in, use your call sign followed by your name.
Kilo Delta 8 Tango November Foxtrot. My name is Chris, listening only. 7-3, Jerry.
Sir, Botto, sir. Martin Wadsworth. You know.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, Carry at Portage Lakes, and I'll be in and out.
Kilo Alpha 8, Mike November Tango, Tom in Canton, and I'll be in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Zulu Romeo, KE8, ZZR, Harry over here in Wadsworth.
November 8, Whiskey Sugar, Bill in New London, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8 Tango Lima Bravo, KE8 TLB, Randy and Ribbon. Hey, Jerry, thanks for running that. You guys have a good one. I'll be in and out. 73, God bless.
Foxtrot 8, Romeo Zulu, that's over in West Virginia. 73 is everybody in the net, and I'll be in and out. KF8ERZ.
Okay, I will pick it up there.
W8WKY.
Okay, the first in and out this evening we had was KD8TNF Chris, and great job checking in. KE8SFS Mark, W8CTM Carey, KA8MNT Tom, KE8ZZR Harry, N8WS Bill, KE8TLB Randy, and KF8ERZ in West Virginia. You kind of broke up there with your name, but I got your call sign. Do we have anyone else who would like to check in and out? If so, use your call sign followed by your name.
Kilo Echo 8, Juliet November Hotel, Doug and Ribbon, in and out.
Kilo Delta 8, Uniform X-Ray Kilo, Tony and Canton, in and out.
Okay, we've added a KE8 Jan H. Doug and a KD8 UXK Tony and Canton. Hope I wasn't dyslexic on that one. Okay, let's go on to regular check-ins then. If you would like to check in and take a stab at the trivia question and make some comments, you can check in now by using your call sign followed by your name.
Since nobody wants to answer the question.
WWKY, this is Kilo Delta 8, Sierra Lima Golf, KD8 SLG, Nick, down the farm.
I guess I'll go. Try to keep it alive. KC8FQV, mark up in Aurora.
KE8 to VOX at Kilo Echo 8 to Victor Oscar X-Ray, Scott, Vermilion, Ohio.
Kilo Alpha 8, Lima Yankee Juliet, KA8, LYJ, Bob, Mobile in the Magic City.
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Delta Tango Papa, KF8, DTP, Lori Maslin.
Kilo Echo 8, Uniform India Bravo, KE8, UIB, John Maslin.
Alpha 8, Charlie Tango, Craig and Shreve.
Okay, I will pick it up there. Okay, at the top of the list we have NT8D Dave, KD8SLG Nick, KC8FQV Mark, KE8VOX Scott, KA8LYJ Bob Mobile, and we'll be back to you shortly, KF8DTP Lori, KE8UIB John, and AA8CT Craig. Do we have anyone else who would like to check into the net? If so, do so by using your call sign followed by your name.
This is WO3X, Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray. The name here is John. I'm in Cuyahoga Falls.
This is KK7DDK, Kilo 7, Delta Kilo, Brian in Pahrump, Nevada, west of Las Vegas on Echolink.
November 8, Yankee Mike Yankee, John, Waynesburg, Ohio.
Okay, we've added WO3X John, KK7DDK, Brian in Nevada, and N8YMY John. Anyone else before we start taking comments and trivia guesses?
Whiskey
Whiskey 2, Juliet, Lima, Sierra, John, W2, JLS, up the road out here in Farallon, Ohio.
Okay, no further check-ins heard, so we are going to go to the trivia question and then get right to Bob, who is mobile. Okay, this question builds on last week's question about radio pioneers. Radio wasn't built by one person. It was the product of brilliant and sometimes rivalrous inventors working across continents. This week's question explores those pioneering minds. Which of the following figures is not, I repeat, is not correctly matched with their contribution to early radio? And your distractors are A, Heinrich Hertz proved the existence of electromagnetic waves. Bravo, Lee DeForest invented the regenerative receiver. Charlie, Guglielmo Marconi sent the first transatlantic wireless signal, and Delta, Reginald Fessenden conducted the first voice radio broadcast. Once again, which of the following figures is not correctly matched with their contribution to early radio? A, Heinrich Hertz, proving that the existence of electromagnetic waves. Bravo, Lee DeForest invented the regenerative receiver. C, Guglielmo Marconi sent the first transatlantic wireless signal. Or D, Reginald Fessenden conducted the first voice radio broadcast. Okay, that is the trip.
W8WKY, he dropped out there at the end.
W2 JLS trying to sign in. I was dropped, I think.
You there, Jerry? Okay, this is KC8HDP. I am back. My radio just went dark for some reason, and I had to switch radios. Okay, let's get to KA8LYJ, Bob Mobile in Barberton. Bob, what do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any other comments for the net?
W8WKY, this is KA8LYJ. Good evening, Jerry. Good evening, Net. I was worried about you there for a second. Yeah, I just headed back from the monthly American Legion meeting, and just about to pull into the QTH, so good timing. As far as trivia, I am going to go with Delta. And with that, I'll give it back to the net, KA8LYJ.
Okay, well, I'm glad the timing worked out all right, and once again, I do apologize for the technical glitch there, but good to have you part of the net this evening, Bob. and glad you made it home safely. I do have your trivia question and answer as Delta, and look forward to hearing you again soon. We're going to clear with KA8LYJ, and we are going to go to NT8D Dave. Good evening to you, Dave. Thanks for checking in with me this evening. Good to hear from you. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any other comments for the net?
Well, I'm glad I don't have to be first, but I'm going to say D Delta also. And had a good time with Brian's fox hunt on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. My antennas actually worked, and we were working on some refinements, and I figured out I was using my attenuator incorrectly. So, yeah, good productive weekend there. Busy week. Working on all the pianos at Revere High School and getting those into shape. And I'll tell you, it doesn't matter if you're only a 130-pound little girl piano choir director. You can break the lyre off a piano, because I'm repairing two of them this week. It's all about physics and angles and stuff like that. And a friend of mine is going to give me her Malone University contract. So I'm adding 20 new pianos to my bevy. So I think it's going to be a busy autumn, which is good. I need to make some money. Hope everybody's having a good one. Hopefully you'll see folks at the meeting next week. And thanks for doing the net tonight there, Jerry. Back to you. Well, listen along until it's done.
Well, it does sound like you've had a productive week, and good to hear from you, Dave, and thanks for checking in with me once again. I do have your trivia question answer marked as Delta, and look forward to seeing everyone at the meeting next week. We're going to clear with NT8D, and we are going to go to KD8SLG, just Nick. Good evening to you, Nick. Thanks for checking in with me this evening. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any other comments for the net?
WKY, this is KD8SLG. Good evening, Jerry, and all of the Sarah Club netizens. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear, Jerry. That's how it is going. It's hot outside, man. It's stupid hot today. Glad to be inside. Let's see. Trivia, I'm going with Delta as well. That's the only name I didn't instantly recognize, so that leads me to believe that it's probably a pretty good distractor. Let's see. If Andy gets in here tonight, AB8MO, he'd be sure to tell you about the Warren Hamfest on Sunday. And if he doesn't make it, I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know any of the specifics, but there's a Hamfest on Sunday. It's out in Warren. Tomorrow afternoon, we've got the Boredom Breaker net. Dustin will be up there the first hour, and probably Nancy the second hour. Stop on by, and then, of course, tomorrow night we have the Beacon net at 10 o'clock. Early check-in start at 9:30. I should be there for that. And Dustin will have that as well. Then we'll probably have, I think we've got trivia from Josh and Lucy tomorrow night. So, hope to hear a bunch of you there. Thanks, as always, Jerry. Fine business. This is KD8SLG. Back to net control.
Well, that dog bone underwear sounds kind of scratchy. So, hopefully those won't be necessary for too long. Okay, and thank you for the reminder of the Warren Hamfest, and good to hear from you, Nick, and thanks for checking in with me. I do have your trivia question answer as Delta. We're going to clear with KD8SLG, and we are going to Northern Mark, KC8FQV. Good evening to you, Mark. Good to hear from you this evening. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any comments for the net?
Nine. KCFQV. Well, I don't know what it will be. Yeah, I think it might be Charlie.
I'll try that one. I sort of was half in and half out. But yeah, it was a hot one today. When I looked in on the north side of the house, it was 88. When I went to the car, it was 97. So, but corn looks like, and I'm amazed how corn's coming along. I went across over to the cornfield. There are some ears I can't put my hand around. So they're getting big. There's some are big, some of them are small. There's some that look like they're going to be twins. There's one constantly growing out, another one right below it trying to grow out next to it. But the ground is so, dry, but there's a tad of moisture in it. When I broke the ground, it cracked, but when I broke the ground, I could feel a tad of moisture. Yeah, and always a probe you can put into the soil, and that's what they probably do is put a probe in there to see what the moisture content is. It's not a big thing to be appraised of because it's still dry. Yeah, I heard that Andy said that they're going to have a couple of prizes for the youngest and the oldest drawing out there at Warren. And there's a lot of other stuff. Yeah, check in the morning and you hear Andy on the barometer net. But stop by and make frequent stops at all the nets. Support them all. So we'll send it back your way. Sharif, KCFQV.
Well, you are correct. The corn is thriving in this weather, and it's amazing how much humidity corn puts into the atmosphere. It was mentioned on the local newscast here a week or two ago, and it's just crazy how much humidity it adds to the air. But anyway, great to hear from you, Mark. I do have your trivia question answer as Charlie, and thank you for checking in with me. We're going to clear with KC8FQV. And that brings us to KE8VOX, Scott in Vermilion. Good to hear from you, Scott. Thank you for your check-in. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any comments for the net?
W8WKY, this is KE8VOX, Scott, up here on the shores of Lake Erie. And for trivia, I'm going to go with Delta. That's just a pure guess there. I heard two of the names. I know I've heard of the two names, but the other two never heard of either one. So I'm just going to guess Delta, and seems to be that kind of day for me. I've been doing a lot of head scratching up here. I picked up, I'm trying to build another node with a rack wireless Meshtastic node. Got me scratching my head here. I ain't be able to get it connected Bluetooth-wise yet, but I think I'm just going to sit that off to the side for the rest of the night and just enjoy the night. So thanks for doing the net. Thanks for getting me in, and have a great evening. KE8 to VOX, sending it back to W8WKY.
Well, sometimes it helps to take a break from things, and sometimes something will just strike you, and there it is. So, good to hear that. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you for your check-in. I do have your trivia question answer as Delta, and we'll catch up with you later on another net. We're going to clear with KE8VOX, and we are going to go to the Maslin area now with the KF8DTP Lori. Good evening to you, Lori. Thank you for your check-in. Good to hear from you. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any comments for the net?
W8WKY.
KC8HCP from KF8DTP. Let's see. I don't really know much about the trivia, so I'm just going to take a stab in the dark here. I'm going to go with B, Bravo, and I'll see where that takes me tonight, because I really don't know much. Other than I had a 6 a.m. truck, and we showed up to do truck, and he was sitting at the wrong store. So, yeah, my day started out real fantastic. And then he couldn't back the semi down into the alley behind the store, so we had to unload it from the front of the store. So, yeah, it's been an interesting day for me. So, you know, with that, that's with the price of doing retail, I guess. So, with that, I'm going to hand it back to you, Jerry. This is KF8 DTP, clear.
Well, it does sound like the truck made things kind of interesting today, and probably made a little bit more work for you than you would normally have had to, but glad you got things handled there, and glad you checked into the net this evening. I do have your trivia question answer as Bravo, and look forward to hearing from you again soon. Before we go to John, and give them a chance to turn the radio over to John, I want to re-identify this as the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net. We meet here every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. on the W8WKY repeater. Your net control operator this evening is Jerry. That's Juliet Echo Romeo Romeo Yankee, doing business as W8WKY. Okay, let's go back to Maslin now with John at KE8UIB. Good evening to you, John. Thank you for checking in with me this evening. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what do your parents think the answer is? And do you have any comments for the net?
W8WKY from KE8UIB. Good evening, Jerry, everybody out there on the net. And let me say first off, Lori says apologizing for not using the club call. She wanted to make sure I threw that in there, even though I told her I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But sorry, we got to have a good chuckle there. Excuse me. My mom and dad, their trivia answer is B, Bravo. And I'm kind of in the dark about it, but I'm going to go ahead, and nobody's taken Alpha yet, so I'm going to go ahead and take A, Alpha, and just fill in all the blanks and see what happens from there. With that, I hope everybody's having a good evening and stuff, and I'd like to throw a happy 70th birthday out there to my mom. Her birthday was yesterday, so she's listening in. And with that, I want to say thank you for running the net, Jerry. Sounds great tonight. This is KE8UIB, living that $5 dream, a nickel at a time. 7-3s, y'all.
Well, John, to be honest with you, if you wouldn't have pointed it out about the call sign, I wouldn't even have noticed. It just went right over my head, so didn't even notice. And yeah, no apology necessary. And happy birthday to your mom. Happy 70th birthday. Hope it's a great one. I have your parents' answer as Bravo, and John, I have your answer as Alpha. Thank you, both Lori and John, for checking in, and appreciate it, both of you, and good to hear from you. We're going to clear with KE8UIB, and we're going to come down to Shreve with my neighbor, AA8CT, and that is Craig. Good evening to you, Greg. I appreciate you checking in with me this evening. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any comments for the net?
W8WKY, good evening, Jerry. As far as if we want to start with the trivia, I have no idea, to be perfectly honest with you. So therefore, and because of, I am going to fall into that last segment that seems to have the most people. So we were going to go with Delta. And no, I'm glad that you've got as many people hitting the PTT tonight as possible, and that is wonderful. So to all the barometer-netters, I hope you, barometer-netters, yeah, see where I'm at. All of the Sarah Club medicines, I hope that you realize how cool the Hamley really is. With that, I'm going to turn it back to you, Jerry. This is AA8CT, returning back to W8WKY and Net Control. Thank you, Jerry, for being the NCO. 73s, and we'll talk to you down the line.
Well, yes, it is great that we have all the check-ins that we have this evening, and I appreciate every single one of them. And thank you, Craig, for being one of them. I do have your trivia question answer as Delta, and you enjoy the evening, Craig, and hopefully we'll see you Thursday evening. We're going to clear with AAACT, and we are now going to go to WO3X John. And John is one of the net control operators for the N8XPK 6-meter multi-state net. Does a fine job with that, and he alternates with KF8G Brian. But if you get a chance, check in with either John or Brian every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. On the 6-meter repeater, 53.17. Various PLs, so check for your location. So good evening to you, John. Thanks for joining us on the net this evening. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any comments for the net?
W8WKY. Good evening, Jerry. This is WO3X. Let's see. Oh, yeah, talking about the N8XPK 6-meter net on Sunday evenings at 7. My radio, I guess it was about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, when it started to malfunction. When I would press the push to talk, it would shut off and then automatically reset it, and it takes 10 seconds for it to reset. And then when I'd press the push to talk again, it did the same thing. So I had to take that radio offline. I'm not sure what is wrong with it. It's over on the bench now. It's an ICOM IC756 PRO. So I use the ICOM IC7600 now for that net with no problem. Let's see here. On the trivia question, I think one of those was talked about last week in the trivia question. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with B Bravo. So with that, this is WO3X back to the net.
Well, very good. Great to hear from you, John. Yeah, my radio just went dark, and first thing I want to do is check the fuses. But anyway, it was just a real surprise. I was talking away, and next thing you know, my radio's dark. But anyway, good to hear from you, John. And you're right. One of the pioneers was mentioned last week. So good remembering that. I do have your trivia question answer marked as Bravo, and we thank you for checking in with us this evening. Good to hear from you. We're going to clear from WO3X, and we're going to go to Nevada now with KK7DDK. Good evening to you, Brian. Thank you for checking in with us on the Serial Weekly Club Net. Do you have an answer for the trivia question, and would you like to make comments to the net? KK7DDK, Brian in Nevada. Would you like to make a guess at the trivia question, and do you have any comments for the net?
Yes, this is Brian. I think it's Lee DeForest. We're not sure, because he was more known for the, he was like the father of the vacuum tube amplifier, but that type of radio, the regenerative radio, uses that a vacuum tube. So I'm not sure. That's kind of ambiguous, but I don't know what the letter was, but I'm going to go with Lee DeForest. And my other comment is, you know, a lot of repeaters don't have battery backup or generator backup, and I was just wondering if anyone knows where, if there's a source like Repeater Book, which lists, well, where there's simplex nets, a group of hams get together and trying to communicate without a repeater. just as an alternative communication channel in case of a extended power outage or so. That's it. KK7DDK back to net control.
Remote already in this mode.
Well, great to hear from you, Brian. Thanks for your check-in. I don't know the answer to your question, but yeah, the lead of Forrest is the answer Bravo, so I do have you marked as that. Hope you'll join us on the net again and check in with us, and good to hear from you. We're going to clear with KK7DDK, and we are going to go now to N8YMY, John. Good evening to you, John. Great to have you on the net this evening. Good to hear from you. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any comments for the net?
W8WKY Club Net. This is N8YMY, John, down here in Waynesburg. Talking to you on Echolink tonight, outside working in the garage, trying to get a few things caught up on my little side business that I do in my spare time when I have some. Yeah, I had a great productive evening because I finally poured my concrete for my tower base. So now I got a 28-day countdown before I can start playing tower. I think the answer is D, Delta. With that, I will let you carry on the net. You're doing a great job, Jerry. Have a great night, and 7-3, N8YMY.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you have had a productive evening, and thank you for checking in with us this evening. Good to hear from you, and I do have your trivia question answer as Delta, and I know I'll hear you on the net again sometime soon. We're going to clear with N8YMY, and we are going to our fearless leader's neighbor, W2JLS. Good evening to you, John. Thank you for checking in with me this evening. Great to have you here. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what are your comments for the net? W2JLS, John, what is your answer for the trivia question, and what are your comments for the net?
W2JLS, this is propitious timing. I didn't even realize you had me in there. When I called earlier, I didn't hear you pick me up. And then you kind of disappeared with a pause and came back. So I thought maybe it was my Echolink was crapping out on me, because it seemed like anyone transmitting in on Echolink I wasn't hearing. So I'm not sure if there's something going on with the repeater tonight or what, but I just happened into the radio room hoping to listen to the rest of the net, and you're calling me, so spectacular timing. Anyway, good to hear you tonight, and my answer, if I heard the question correctly, is going to be Marconi. I don't remember what choice it was, but that'll be my answer. I'll leave it at that. I'll pass it back, Jerry. Thanks for picking me up. I didn't realize you had me. W2JLS, I'll say good evening on your ears to all.
Well, there was no problem with the repeater or your equipment. It was mine. The radio I was using went dark, and I had to switch radios. So there you go. That's why I disappeared there. So, like I say, nothing you did. Good to hear from you this evening, John. I do have your trivia question answer as Charlie, and thanks for your check-in. Well, that is the bottom of the list I have so far. This is the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net. Your net control operator this evening is Jerry. That's Juliet Echo Romeo Romeo Yankee, and I'm using the club call of Whiskey 8 Whiskey Kilo Yankee. If you would like to check into our net, you can do so now by using your call sign followed by your name.
Kilo Echo 8 Zulu Zulu Romeo KE8 ZZR Harry and Wadsworth. I think you missed me, Jerry.
please check in Kilo Delta 8, Juliet November X-Ray, Brooker, in Redmond, Jerry.
Alpha India 5, Quebec AI 5Q, Jerris in Tulsa.
KF8 ELA, Kilo Foxtrot 8, Echo Lima Alpha, Zach and Delphin.
Okay, we have KE8ZZR Harry. Harry, you checked in the in and outs. That's why I passed over you. But we'll get you in here now. You're at the top of the next list. And we also have KD8JNX Brooker. Good to hear from you. AI5Q Jerris and KF8ELA Zach. Anyone else want to get in on the net? Check in now with your call sign followed by your name.
Delete KY in the net. Whiskey Tango Delta, W8TD, John in Wadsworth. In and out, please.
W8WKY, repeater, PL1 14.8.
Okay, we have also added a W8TD John. I have you in and out. Thank you for your check-in. Okay, for those who have just joined the net, I am going to reread the trivia question, and it builds on last week's question about radio pioneers. Radio wasn't built by one person. It was the product of brilliant and sometimes rivalrous inventors working across continents. This week's question explores those pioneering minds. Which of the following figures is not, and I repeat, is not correctly matched with their contribution to early radio? Your distractors are A, Alpha. Heinrich Hertz proved the existence of electromagnetic waves. Bravo, B, Lee DeForest invented the regenerative receiver. C, Charlie, Guglielmo Marconi sent the first transatlantic wireless signal, or Delta, Reginald Fessenden conducted the first voice radio broadcast. Okay, that is the trivia question. Let's go to Harry. Harry, sorry, I thought you were in and out, but good to have you here. Thanks for your check-in. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what are your comments for the net?
W8WKY, this is KE8ZZR. Good evening, Jerry. No apologies needed. It happens. I know you had your hands full there when your radio went dead. So, as far as the trivia question goes, I was going to go with D. I don't have a clue, so I'm just taking a stab at that. And had lunch with the Wayne County Aries group this afternoon. Had a nice time. And just back from a trip. I was down at Mount Eden, Ohio for the past week at Evergreen Campground, and the Ohio Grand Design Rally was held there. So it was really a nice time. So with that, I'll turn it back to you. I'll let you get down the list, and this is KE8CZR Claire.
W8WKY.
Well, it's great to have you at lunch today, and I'm glad you enjoyed your camping trip, and great to have you part of the net this evening, Harry. I do have your trivia question answer as Delta. Okay, that brings us to KD8JNX Brooker. Good evening to you, Brooker. Good to hear you on the net this evening. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any comments for the net?
Well, good evening, Jerry. Good evening, everybody on the net. KE8JNX. I'm going to go with D. I mean, I picked it. I sat and listened to him a couple different times, and I just said D might be the one. I've been wrong numerous times. But just want to jump in and say good evening, everybody. Boy, it's been a brutal week. Riding around in the brown truck all day. So, getting ready to go to bed. Might try to get it into Holmes County if I can get that long. But with that, let's send it back to you, Jerry. Doing a great job. We appreciate it. This is KDJNX back to net control.
Well, sorry to hear that you've had a rough week, but glad you checked in with us this evening. And yeah, I'll be going to the Millersburg net after this as well. 9 o'clock on the Millersburg repeater, 146.67 repeater. PL is 71.9. So you take care, Brooker, and sleep well. I do have your trivia question answer as Delta, by the way. We're going to clear with KD8JNX, and that brings us to AI5Q, Jairus. Going out to 5 land. Good evening to you, Jairus. Appreciate you checking in with me this evening. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any comments for the net?
Well, good evening. This is AI5Q, and for the trivia, I'm going to guess Delta D, and hope for the best there. I was going to vote in solidarity with my friend, but he's not on, not checking in. He normally votes for the great state of Oklahoma for every trivia answer ever, no matter if it's an option or not. So that'd be Shannon, KC5RBG. So I wish he would have made it, but I don't know what he's doing. I'll have to give him grief about missing the net. He missed the local club net here in Tulsa, or Claremore area, for the Board and Breaker net, and he's missing this net as well. So I'll have to get a hold of him and find out what's going on. But no real comments for the net, other than I tried to start the work truck today, and it was dead as a doornail, so that's going to be fun to deal with tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. in a parking garage with limited access to the front end of the truck. So we'll see how that goes, but other than that, just having a good night and waiting for the kids to get back home from a scouting event, and then it's off to bed. So there you go. AI5Q, back to net control.
Well, I do hope everything is well with RBG. Hope Shannon's okay, and great to have you part of the net this evening, Jairus. Good to hear from you, and hope to hear you back again real soon. So I do have your trivia question answer as Delta. We're going to clear with AI5Q, and we're going to go towards Dalton with KF8ELA. Good evening to you, Zach. Thank you for checking in with me this evening. Good to hear you on the net. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and do you have any comments for the net?
W8WKY, this is KF8ELA. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to go D Delta for the trivia, see where that gets me. And I'm also going to agree with Just Nick over there. It is stupid hot out today, or it was. Had to trip up to Cleveland in the truck. Didn't feel like the air conditioning was keeping up. Got home and decided that I was going to go out and pick some green beans in the garden anyway. So I guess that heat didn't stop me. But anyway, that's all I've got for now, so I'll send it back to you, Net. This is KF8ELA.
Well, I will concur. It did feel pretty hot out there today, and yeah, when the air conditioner doesn't keep up, it feels pretty miserable. But great to have you part of the net this evening, Zach, and thanks for checking in with me, and look forward to hearing you on a net again soon. I do have your trivia question answer as Delta. With W8TD John, who is in and out, that is the bottom of the list I have, and we're only coming up on 10 till. So we will open up the net once again for some more check-ins. So if you would like to check into our net, you can do so now by using your call sign followed by your name.
KD8TNF. N8VXQ.
November 8, X-ray Kilo Delta, inside.
Okay, we've added N8VXQ Perry and N8XKD, and we have Chris, KD8TNF, the recheck. Chris, go ahead with your recheck.
Hi, Jerry. I was so delighted to hear finally a trivia question involving radio, our area of interest. You beckoned me back in to enter a guess, and I will guess B, and thank you for at last giving us something to learn with the trivia questions actually related to ham radio. 7-3, KD8TNF.
Well, thank you for the flowers, Chris, and good to hear you on the net this evening. I do have your trivia question answer as Bravo. Okay, we're going to clear with KD8TNF, and let's go to Perry Township in Stark County with Perry himself, N8VXQ. Good evening to you, Perry. Thanks for checking in with me this evening. Good to hear from you. What do you think the answer to the trivia question is, and what are your comments for the net?
Well, I have to agree with Chris. This is N8VXQ. I have to agree with Chris there with the, good to hear amateur radio questions. And I'm going to go with the intelligent person before me. I mean, he took B. I'm going to go along with him because I didn't hear the question, so I figure he's intelligent enough to go along with his answer. We didn't do too much today. Went to breakfast at B&K with the 6-meter group. That's why I couldn't come out and see you. You guys have your stuff on the same time that we have ours. Like that. But other than that, not too much going on down here. We're taking care of things down here and behaving ourselves. So with that, I'll say 73s to you, and 73s the rest of the net, and I'll probably catch you a few minutes over there on the WatchNet. Whatever we're watching for, we're doing it anyway. So N8VXQ will be clear.
Well, I hope you had as good a time at your meeting as I had with mine at lunch. So great to hear from you, Perry. Thanks for the check-in. I do have your trivia question answer as Bravo. Would you like me to reread the question, Perry?
No, I think Chris is intelligent enough. He has the right answer, so I'm good with it.
W8WKY.
Okay, thanks, Perry. Well, we're going to clear with N8VXQ, and that brings us to N8XKD. I did not catch your name. You kind of broke up there at the end, but I thought I'd catch it now. So when you're giving your comments, maybe you can let me know what your name is. And what do you think the answer to the trivia question is? Well, let me ask, if you need it reread, let me know. But then what do you think the answer to the trivia question is? And what comments do you have for the net?
This is N8XKD. My name is Ida, and I'm in Barberton. I'm actually KA8LYJ's wife.
Oh, very good. Glad to have you here, and glad you checked into the net this evening. Would you like the trivia question reread?
No, got that one you...
Would you like to take a guess at the answer, or would you like to make some comments for the net?
Well, my answer on the trivia was going to be the letter C, because I hadn't heard anybody else say that one.
Okay, I have you down for letter C. Do you have anything else for the net?
Really, it was, I guess, hot today because my thermostat in the house said it was just 83 degrees. And that's all my air conditioner does, is take it down to where it's almost bearable.
Well, that's still pretty warm for in the house. But anyway, I do have your trivia question answered as C. And I do thank you for checking in with us this evening. Appreciate that. And hope you'll check in with us on a regular basis. Okay, well, we're heading towards the top of the hour. And so let's get to the trivia question answer here. We'll take a break. Okay, the correct answer this evening is Bravo, because Bravo is false. While Lee DeForest invented the Audion tube, it was Edwin Armstrong who actually invented the regenerative receiver in 1914, dramatically improving radio sensitivity and efficiency. And it was mentioned that, yes, he was mentioned last week. With the answer A is true. It was in the late 1880s that Heinrich Hertz experimentally confirmed the existence of electromagnetic waves predicted by Maxwell, laying the foundation for wireless communication. C is also true. In 1901, Marconi famously received the Morse code letter S across the Atlantic, proving long-distance wireless communication was possible. D is also true. Fessenden made the first known voice and music radio broadcast on Christmas Eve in 1906, astonishing shipboard operators who expected Morse code. So there's the explanation of the trivia answer. Let's see, well, the first right answer was KF8DTP Lori, and John, KE8UIB's parents, got it right as well, as did W03X, John, KK7DDK, Brian, N8VXQ, Perry, KD8TNF Chris also got it right. So that is it for the trivia question this evening. We'll make one last call for check-ins. If anyone would like to check in to the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net, you can do so now by using your call sign followed by your name.
W03X with a comment. Name here is John.
Net control, this is AF8, DJY in West Virginia. Kilo Foxtrot 8, Delta Juliet Yankee.
Okay, we have W03X John with a recheck and KF8DKY, was that correct?
Net control, that's Kilo Foxtrot 8, Delta Juliet Yankee. Juliet.
Thank you for the correction, Delta Juliet Yankee. Let's go to John for his recheck, and then we'll be to DJY. John, go ahead with your recheck.
Yes, this is WO3X. As I mentioned last week, when I was a boy, I was about 9 years old, I built a regenerative receiver, and I used a tube number 3944. And also along with that, I used a 6AX5 rectifier tube. So that regenerative receiver worked very well. WO3X, back to the net. 7-3.
Well, thank you, John, for letting us know that you built a regenerative receiver and the review that it worked very well. That's great to hear. If I would have built one, it wouldn't have worked so well. So there you go. Okay, thanks, John. We're going to clear with the WO3X and go back to West Virginia with KF8DJY. Didn't catch your name, but good to have you here. Maybe you can let me know what that is in your comments. Good to have you here. And what comments do you have for the net?
Yes, Net Control. This is KF8DJY Pike. I live in Williamstown, West Virginia. I'm interested in your guys' network by hearing the Doylestown and also sometimes the Pennsylvania repeater on 17390. And I've been able to get in once or twice, but mostly it's been through Echolink. But I was fascinated ever since I heard you guys talking trivia. When I can, I like to hop on here and say hi. That is just now starting in Parkersburg, so I'm going to drop off. But I love what you guys do. I love that you have an active radio waves, and thank you for taking my call. Back in that control, it's KY.
Well, I'm glad you enjoy our net, and our repeater is located in Doylestown, Ohio. And appreciate you checking in with us. Great to hear from you from Williamstown, West Virginia. So very good, and enjoy the Parkersburg net. Well, that is the bottom of the list I have. Do we have any late check-ins or any rechecks or questions or comments for the good of the net? Okay, and nothing else heard. So we will close the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Weekly Club Net at 9:02. We had 29 check-ins plus net control for a total of 30 participants. I would like to thank each and every one of you for checking in with me this evening. I enjoyed taking your check-ins and hearing your comments, and it was just a great time here. So thank you, everyone who participated. So with that, for the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, this is Kilo Charlie 8, Hotel Delta Papa. My name is Jerry, Juliet Echo Romeo Romeo Yankee, returning the repeater to regular amateur use. 7-3.
Jerry, before you go to that other net, could you chime in again with the answer to the question? I was away from the radio. W2JLS.
W8WKY.
Oh, of course. The correct answer was Bravo. Lee DeForest did not invent the regenerative receiver. It was invented by Edwin Armstrong. Yeah, invented the regenerative receiver in 1914. So Bravo was the correct answer.
Roger. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And I know you're heading over to, I think, the WatchNet. So have a good time over there. W2JLS, I'll be clear.
Well, you're welcome, John, and thanks for checking in with me and being part of the net. We'll catch up with you soon, if not sooner, hopefully at the club meeting. This is KC8HDBT QSY 2146.67 megahertz.